Hi, everybody, and welcome to Music Marketing. I think this is week 12 or 13. I don't know, because, girl, I be skipping weeks here and there. But today we are going to talk about how to run Facebook ads and Instagram ads. I am not a pro at this, but I know how to do it, and I know I'm better than like a fresh noob off the block. So I figured I'd show you kind of step by step how this works and some tips and tricks for it. And this is featuring lovely French bulldog Ziggy. Hi, Ziggy. Ziggy's gonna be on YouTube. He gonna be on Twitch. This is also my dog's boyfriend. They're pen pals. They're paw pals. So I'm gonna just kind of walk you through. Actually, yeah. Let me start on this other screen first. Still gonna show Ziggy for a little bit. And then, okay, so I'm gonna kind of walk you through the ad that I set up, and then I'll show you some of the results that came from it. So I wanted to, at first I was promoting my smart link, which if you don't know what a smart link is, it's those links that you might see that are like fan link or smart link or, you know, anything like that where like you click it and then all of a sudden it shows you kind of a directory of like, oh, here's their SoundCloud link, their YouTube, their Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, like all of those. And when it's like a conglomerate link, whatever you want to call it. So at first I was promoting that because I had a new music video out and I was like, you know, I want people to, you know, maybe they'll go to my music video, maybe they'll just go straight to Spotify and listen. Regardless, I just want them to watch something. And I was like, you know what, this might not be the best strategy. It might be better to just send them somewhere directly, but let me see, let me test it. So I set it up to run for like 2 days for $5 a day because a lot of people recommend that I've talked to like $5 minimum to be able to test it and give like Facebook's algorithms time to go through and optimize itself. So let's see, what does it do if I do this? Okay, yeah. So this is what I did. I think my text was a little bit different at the beginning, but it said, "Nothing hurts like your first heartbreak. Stream my music and let's heal together." So I started it off with just like in our first week, you know, when we talked about how, you know, you don't want the description about you to just be like, "I'm a gay indie pop artist." It's like, okay, one of how many thousands, millions? You want to have some sort of like value thing here. So that's why I put like nothing hurts like your first heartbreak. And then I put stream my music. And I think originally I had and let's cry together. And then down here I had support LGBTQ artists and watch more. So they could click this and it
We'll
looks kind of like
grow
the
up
video.
and
Oh,
then
that's so
you'll
loud.
see
I'm
what
so
you're
sorry.
missing. You'll come home.
Also,
And then
for some
you'll
reason
give
the
me
like
the
lip
way
sync was
you
off, which
used
made me really mad, but I don't know if it just looked that way to me or not. But anyway, so this is the full ad that I did. So it was like trying to get them to, you know, okay, it's LGBT, it's music, it's a music video. I tried to do all of the, hi Riz! I tried to do all of these things. Well, I'll let this go so you can see it. So I was like, okay, this is a sexy one. You see me crying. It's like a good clip. You can definitely do this with just a picture of you or the single art or something, but you want it to be like the sexiest picture of you possible. I don't mean sexy as in necessarily like literally sexy, but you know, just the picture that's like the most representative of you and looks cool and all of that stuff. So and then you can, you know, test it in different places so you can see like how it lays out. If you're like, oh, I really don't want it to have this extra word, I want it to all be on one line or 2 lines or whatever. That freeze frame, I don't know. And then you can also, of course, you know, change how it's going to be in the feed versus in an Instagram story, all of that stuff. Hi Fizzy, how are you? Mobile Discord works, desktop app does not. Oh, it's working for me. Or maybe not. I think I'm just in the web browser. So yeah, you can basically test it, make sure it works, make sure it's synced properly because mine were not and I didn't notice until it was way too late. But so here was my strategy with targeting. Let's see where it shows, if it shows. I don't think it shows on that part. It's on this one. So I'm an LGBT artist. I make pop music and I specifically wanted to target people who like LGBT artists and are into indie pop and are looking for new artists, basically all of that stuff. And because my song is a breakup song, I also targeted some other things. Let me just hit edit so it'll let me show you everything. Okay, so originally I had this targeting parts of Brazil that I noticed that I was getting love in and that I have heard of as being very good music areas. Okay, South Korea, don't target South Korea. I didn't do my research properly. South Korea doesn't have Spotify. So you can target them for YouTube or something, but don't target them for don't target them for whatever. Any specific reason to do Instagram ads through Facebook instead of directly through IG? So good point. So what I'm teaching you today or walking you through is this is not about boosting a post, because when you boost a post, you don't have the same capabilities. You can't customize it as much as you would if you were doing it through Facebook, and Facebook runs Instagram. So when you do something on Facebook, that edits everything on Instagram too. So I mean, you can boost a post on Instagram and Facebook, but it's not the best way to grow your channel. You can't edit it as much. You can't target it as specifically. Target North Korea, maybe so. Fizzy, I'm doing great. We're gonna do a surprise after this, but first we're going through some marketing stuff, music marketing. So at first I just targeted a few of these places in Brazil, because Brazil is literally like the music place of the world. Like if you want your music, that's where the stands are. The stands are in Brazil. Like there's a reason that Sophie Tucker, the band, SOFI space TUKKER, yes, they say they like Portuguese and it's a beautiful language, and I agree. But part of their marketing strategy, I think, also is the fact that Brazil is huge for music. So by having their music in Portuguese, even though they don't speak Portuguese, they're able to reach this huge audience right out the bat. And they got Apple, they got nominated for Grammys, they got all this stuff. They're performing at, major festivals. Used to have to do these for an old job. Yeah, they're not necessarily fun when you're doing it for other people, but it's fun for me. And then I also added on Cordoba and some places in Argentina where I noticed I was getting some listeners, but I'm actually going to take these out, and I'll show you later why. They weren't getting that much love. That much results. I also used to have the US in here, but the US was not returning too much. But so I just kind of targeted some places. I would say, kind of test it out. When I was looking at potential reach and what they recommend, they said at least a couple million, because obviously your ads, depending on how much you're paying, you're only going to hit 1,000, 2,000, 5,500 per day, depending what you're spending. So, as you're going through that audience, Facebook needs to it will do its own optimization, like I said earlier. So yes, you give it a head start, but the longer you run the ad, the better it gets at returning your investment and finding people and customizing it for you. Come to Brazil. Yeah, no, literally. There's a reason why there's always come to Brazil and Brazil fan page and Brazil loves you and all of that stuff. It's really true. Sheffield in the UK is huge for music as well. Well, maybe I will add Sheffield. You know what? Let's add Sheffield in right here. Everyone in this location. Yeah, everyone. Where's Sheffield? I also put in Brighton in the UK. It didn't work. Did not work. Sheffield. Oh, it's close to Manchester. So yes, let's include Manchester and Sheffield in there. Oop. Did that go far enough? Barely. Okay, I'm just gonna put it all the way to 50. I want a stroke on Trent for sure, and Nottingham and Leeds. Okay, yeah, those are some big cities. So let's try Sheffield, England, and 50 miles away from there. So anyway, like I said, you kind of want it to be in 2, 5, 10 million. I don't know the best number for potential audience, but it does seem like bigger is better as long as it's not massive. You don't want to be targeting 100 million people, but I would say maybe 10 million or less is probably lit. I've been going for around 5 million or less, because at first I had 2 to 3, and I think it actually wasn't enough. I've been targeting ages 13 to 14 because, here, if I take you to my insights on Spotify, which if you are not signed up for this, you need to sign up for this. Make sure you're signed up. 18 to 35. Actually, no, I think it was on Instagram that I saw basically everyone who follows me. Oh yeah, and here. It's I have 18, 20, 25-ish, 13, yeah, 25-ish% of my audience is outside of 18 to 34, but that range of ages is so large that I figured, you know what, let me just focus on this group of people. They're the people that are going to relate the most. My music is a little bit more mature themes, not crazy stuff, but it's more about you've gone through life experiences, breakups, working and hating your job and all this existential shit that you might not have encountered yet in high school. Some people, sure, maybe you have. But so I just figured, you know what, I'm just going to target these people. I targeted male and female, and males did click more on mine. And then, like I said, you can look here at top countries. So I targeted Argentina because they're one of my top countries. I should also probably target some places in Canada. I don't think I tried that yet. And then I targeted places in Brazil. Like I said, and then I also you can look at your cities. You want to do this no matter what you're targeting. Instagram has this type of insights as well. I can show you. But yeah, so you just want to make sure being in Hawk Pig. Yeah, right. 48 listeners. She did that. She's one of them, and she expanded it. P.S. High passion. Everyone in Sheffield is either in a band or knows someone in a band. Yes, so that's actually why I targeted Goiania. I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, but Goiania, Goiás. It's a state in Brazil that's very much known for their music and DIY scene, and they did turn out to be the cheapest return on investment for me. And I found that out because I had a client, a music client. Whenever I say client, everyone always makes fun of me like I'm a prostitute. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Anyway, the UK is pulling its weight for sure. Because the reason why Argentina and like Romania and things are high is because I'm on like a Romanian playlist. I'm on an Argentinian playlist. And then Brazil, there's probably some, crossover there. Anyway. Oh, this is interesting. So try adding Brazil, all cities to target all cities in that location. We'll then find the best performing cities for you automatically. Girl, okay, let's do it. And it only increased my potential reach by 2 million. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. So languages, I don't care what language people speak. Girl, we speak the language of music. I mean, all my Kisos stan accounts. I love it, Riz. Also, y'all, Riz is another amazing music. I was gonna say streamer, but he doesn't stream. But another amazing LGBT music artist, Riz. If you want to put your Spotify in the chat, please feel free to do so, and please listen. I love his only song that's out right now, but I love it. So then detailed targeting. This is where you include people who match. So I was like, okay, they have to match some of these things. You know what? I'm actually gonna take out independent music. And I again will tell you why. Da, 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 da. Or maybe I'll add something pride in here. We'll add gay pride down there again too. So basically they have to like gay pride. If they don't like gay pride, oh, potential reach 10 million. Okay, well maybe I'll have to do some things here. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? They also have to like independent music. I'm going to put independent music down here. And I'll explain this in a second. I'm just like iterating as I go. I'll explain what this all means. Independent music. Okay, let's see what this says now. 7.6 million. I'm down to try a big ass thing like that. Okay, so I targeted all genders. I targeted between 18 to 34. I'm targeting all of Brazil now because why not? I wonder if it will show me what cities do the best. I don't know about that. Or if it will kind of keep that secret. IJ is my username here, honey. You're going to love the second one too, I promise. I'm taking notes right now. Yes. And yeah, that's Riz is LGBT, his IG tag. Okay, so I'm targeting people in these areas, I'm targeting this age, I'm targeting these genders, and they also must like pages related to any of the following. So anyone who likes gay pride or genderqueer or Haley Kiyoko, who is a big LGBT artist if you don't know her, LGBT community, LGBT culture, LGBT music, RuPaul's Drag Race, because gays, Troye Sivan, a big gay musician, years and years, a big gay band. So they have to, this will target them as long as they like any of these things. They don't have to like all of them, but they have to like at least one of them. Also, it must also match one of these things. So if they like if they like one of the things in the top, they also have to have at least one of these. And because, like I said, I'm doing it's a breakup song, I made it so long distance relationship, because that can be stressful, and maybe they want some breakup music in their ears. Recently moved, that's another stressful thing. You might not have that many friends. You might be thinking about, maybe you did leave a relationship or leave friends behind, and you're thinking about happily ever after, and you're in denial. And then I also targeted people who are in complicated relationships, divorced, separated, and single, because again, those are people that, maybe single is the least likely of those, but separated, divorced, complicated, they're obviously going through some shit, or they have in their lives. So even if it's not fresh, they can still relate. And single, maybe those are people who were separated or divorced, or maybe it's just people who, have been in love, whatever. It's still pretty general there. Why limit yourself to the fact they must like them sort of things? There's a lot of people who wouldn't like follow them sort of things, but would still love the music. Yes, but I think LGBT people would be more likely to click on me, follow me, and become super fans faster. So that is why I'm targeting LGBT people. Also, it makes it easier because if I'm targeting like the whole country of Brazil, it just helps narrow it down so I don't have to spend as much money figuring out anything. This is discrimination towards happy couple and happy people. Maybe so. It is. I'm doing that on purpose. What about non-gay artists but more niche artists with gay followings like Carly Rae Jepsen, Ali X, and Kim Petras, like tastemaker audiences? I mean, I would say the very same thing. I mean, this is just me trying to target LGBT people. If I was trying to target more like just music fans in general, maybe I would target like, let's see what they have here. Okay, so Pitchfork, I'm assuming this is Pitchfork the blog. Like Pitchfork is a big music site. You could target Pitchfork. You could target South by Southwest, which is a music festival for, indie artists. If you don't want to go the LGBT route, there's other ways to do it. So I would say in those cases, target, like maybe festivals, but festivals where people are actually discovering new music, not like Coachella. Everyone goes to Coachella. Everyone likes pages related to Coachella. So you have to you have to stereotype, you have to zone in to save you money. If you got tons of money, you just want to blow it, sure. But this is just, one skew, one column of potential people that I can hit. And I'm going to keep iterating this over and over and over until, it costs me only 5 cents for someone to click on my ad instead of 50 or 30. But yeah, and, especially like Kim Petras, who relates, still is LGBT. You can also target more trans-oriented pages. Or again, if you don't want to, I would say, target the main big music blogs, any niche things and festivals. You can also target other artists that are up and coming. Troye Sivan is not really up and coming. But years and years, Haley Kiyoko, I mean, to me, they're huge artists, but a lot of people still don't know them. So I would say that, just trying to find, and also making sure that they have to like independent music, they have to like certain things like that, so that they will be included in your targeting. And I also excluded people who use oh, you know what? It wouldn't let me exclude people who are in a relationship. I wanted to exclude people who are in a happy relationship, but it wouldn't let me. I think it doesn't let you exclude groups of people, which I agree with. But so I did exclude people who don't use who use a mobile device less than 1 month, basically 6 months or less in the year. If you use a mobile device less than 6 months of the year, you're not who I'm going for. I want someone who's connected to apps, connected to the internet, because I want them to follow me on my social media, and I want them to listen to my music and stream it and share it. And if you don't have a mobile device, it's a little bit harder, because that's going to be a main way that I'm getting people to click. Although there are a lot of times, desktop can be the thing that converts people more. Okay. So I think that's kind of it on that. And you can see here, like, oh wait, let me save it. I'm going to save as new. Spotify attempt 2. So I didn't change too much, but I did make it so they have to like independent music and be gay, basically. Or be gay and like, be in an unhappy relationship or not in a relationship. So you can see right here, it makes it easier. Interests, years and years, LGBT music, they have to like any of these things. Then they also have to either also be into indie music, single, complicated, separated, divorced, in a long distance relationship, or recently moved. You can also move around here. Okay, I don't want shit in the marketplace. I don't want stuff in, I guess I'll keep it in stories. And I definitely want it in Instagram feed and stories. I don't understand what that is. I don't want to be in people's messages. I don't know what some of this means. And then you can look at it here. So it won't let me change that stuff. Interesting. I don't know what everything means. So you can also see my potential reach right here is 7.6. Oh, choose where you want to drive traffic, website, start date, end date. And you can change, how much you spend per day. Like I said, I recommend doing 5 days. I did like 5 days, and then I switched it up and did like less. Or no, I did 3 days, then like a week later, because I don't got money like that, so I wasn't going super wild. Okay, and I'll show you this. This is the results from the first campaign that I did. Oops, let me. reconnect my phone to my computer so you can see. Okay. So this was after my first I screenshot before I started my next set of ads. So I spent $12 and I got 50 basically people landing on my page. Sometimes people will click and then disappear. So I actually got a lot more clicks than this. But out of the cost to actually view the landing page, it was 49 people that actually viewed it and 24 cents. And that's out of 5,000, which is actually pretty normal, like a 1% click-through rate. So like it might be a little bit lower than normal. So if this was like 54 out of 5,400, that would, oh wait, no, 0.1. I don't know. I don't know if this was good or not. I think it was okay. Messenger inbox has ads on the site version. I think that's what it's referring to. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be in people's things like that. So what this means is it cost me 0.24 cents to get someone on my landing page. I reached 5,364 people with this ad. And frequency is 1.2, meaning the average person saw this 1.2 times. So some people, a few people saw it more. I guess maybe 20% of people saw it more than once. Oops, what did I just do? Oh, my phone closed. Why you closing, bruh? Why you close? Fix your face. Why is it turning off so quick today? I'm a noob. Okay. And then this one, I scroll down a little bit. You can see that it costs 27 cents to get a woman to click on it and 23 cents to get a guy to click on it. But it was also shown to more guys. So that one could have been optimized, had just been optimized better because there were more guys to choose from that fit my criteria for who I was pitching or trying to get to cover it. And then by age, you can see that it was pretty similar. Yeah, at first, actually, this was very different. So that's why you don't want to just run an ad for like a little bit and get scared, because I think men was like, around this and women was like 80 cents. But then once it started to optimize better, it got it down to this. And the same thing happened with age. I think it was like 25 to 34 was very low. And then 18 to 24 was like 60, 70 cents. I'm like, girl, that's almost $1. I'm not paying $1 to get someone to click on my shit. But then I waited and it went down to a quarter. But I have heard reports of people getting this as low as like 5 cents, which is definitely doable, but you really have to optimize. It's not going to be something where you're randomly going to just realize, oh, I'm getting 5 cent clicks. That's all it's costing me. It's like, no, you have to do this for a few days. You got to change it up and go through it. Instagram stories were definitely doing better at first, but then mobile newsfeed was also doing well. But the Instagram stories was not shown to that many people. So I actually think that Instagram stories might be the best way, but it's hard to know because there was only shown to 400 people. You really don't know. And then by location, you can see England cost 67 cents. It was barely shown to anyone there. So I either wasn't targeting enough people there, or it just wasn't fitting enough people there. And same thing with the US. It was like, I was really surprised that it was not being sent to them. I think it also might have changed because Brazil was doing so well and doing like 10 cents, 19 cents. Because it was doing so well there, I was thinking maybe that is... Instagram is just pushing all of its results there and just saying, hey, that's where we're going to put it. You can see Argentina also didn't do amazing for me. So that's why I added on, and let me close out of this. Because I'm going to show you one more thing. That's why I added on like Philippines, Thailand. There's a lot of stands in Asia too. So I was trying to find the places that use Spotify. Remember, South Korea does not use Spotify yet. And find a new audience that was kind of giving me the same gold that Brazil was. Now, here's the thing. Here, let me show you. Let me show you here. I didn't gain too many followers from Instagram. I expected to gain more followers and likes on Facebook and Instagram while I'm running these ads, even though they weren't the goal of it. The goal was Spotify follows, streams, and listeners. But, I got like maybe 2 or 3 per ad. So it was basically like 1 or 2 extra per day of running an ad, which is not what I expected. I don't know if that is normal or not. But I did And the first time when I was using my smart link that gives you all the links that people can choose, I didn't notice a bump in Spotify like at all. That was around here. I ran it like a couple of these days. I guess you can see a little bump because normally weekends are my slowest and it was slightly higher than Thursday. So it could be that. I don't know what the heck that was. I wasn't running anything here. But then I was running my ads again here. And the streams look even more impressive, but streams are not as important as getting to more listeners. So I started on the 27th, but it was like late at night. So I don't think anything really kicked in until the 28th. And you can see 55 is almost the highest that I had this whole month. And then the next day that I was running it, I had 76 listeners. And then the last day I ran it, I had 80 listeners. And I think some of that still spilled in a little bit into Friday. And then it looks like yesterday it's starting to cool off. This also might be a coincidence because I only ran ads for 3 days, and it could just be because it's the beginning of the month. You know, people are refreshing their playlists and Pride playlists and more people are listening to me. I don't know. You can see that streams follows a very similar thing. So I had 27 listeners before I started ads. 54 listeners or 54 streams on this day. And then the next day when I had ads, I had 84 streams, 115 and 147 streams per 80 listeners on Thursday. So I almost had people listening twice instead of like barely 1.1 times. So it seemed like that works. And you can also see again that this dips back down after my promo ends. So I'm like, that seems like it works pretty well, but my followers didn't go up during that time at all. Maybe people unfollowed me and then more people follow me. I don't know. Someone followed me like yesterday, but that was after ads. But maybe it was someone who followed me on Instagram or Facebook and then realized, oh, I'm going to follow him on Spotify. So, or it also could be, you know, let's say my listener average is like 40 this month because I had some peaks, but let's say it was 40. So I got myself 15 extra listeners here, 36 extra listeners here, 40 extra listeners here. That's about 100, maybe 120 new listeners. And how many people are going to click through and follow you? It's can usually be like 1%. So that would be like 1 out of 100. So it's like maybe I just didn't run the ads long enough. And if I had run them more, you know, $5 a day, I'd be getting like, okay, then I'd start to get like a follower a day or something like that. There are other artists who have done ads like this that I have really seen skyrocket. And it's kind of crazy. Like this is someone I met at South by Southwest and she started doing this course. Let me show you since 2015. So you can see right around here is when it seems like she started doing ads. And right around here. So around March, her followers went up from, you know, about what I had, like 400 something, all the way to 2,800 in a couple months. So I think there's something that I definitely have not unlocked here yet. But it's possible. Like, I know that these are real. I think, oh, and then one last thing I wanted to say. Hi, Nucci, we're going to start the party in a little bit. I'm just finishing up one last thing. So what I was going to say is after you get your results from whatever you're doing, you want to take everything back here. You want to look at, okay, what countries did well for me, what countries struggled, and just optimize and keep taking the best of the best of the best. And you also want to try and switch this up. You know, I'm probably going to switch, like maybe I'll put like LGBT up here or this. You want to run something and just change like one part of the copy and keep everything else the same. So who are you targeting? Keep it exactly the same. I'm not actually doing that. I'm giving a bad example because I already switched like the countries that I'm targeting and all of that. But the best way to optimize is to do like, okay, I'm going to run this ad for 5 days for $5 a day. And then I'm just going to switch one thing. So like, let's say, remember I had Let's Cry Together. So then you could try that exact same ad and say, let's cry together. And then you'll see, oh, when I ran that ad for 5 days at $5 a day, it cost me, 5 cents less per click. Instead of 25 cents average, it was 20 cents. So that is the messaging that I want to use. So let's use that again. And then, maybe let's try that, but let's switch up who I'm targeting. Oh, I'm targeting these people and it actually wasn't as good. So maybe I'll keep this one that I was using before with the cry together and that first iteration of who I'm targeting, but I'll switch another word, or I'll switch this button, or I'll switch the call to action here. Just be like stream LGBT artists or something like that. Follow an LGBT artist. Just change one thing. Every time, just change one thing. It takes a long ass time, but that is the way that you can do the A/B testing. You can see exactly which variable is the one that is making the difference for you in your career and your ads, and make it so every dollar that you spend is worth more and more and more. If you think about it, every stream is half a cent. So let's say I gave myself an extra, an extra 40, or let's say 30 and 30 extra 30, we'll go with 50. So 34, 65, 100, that's basically 200, 270 extra streams. So I made back like $1.50, if we're being generous, from like the $10-12 that I spent, which isn't terrible. It's not terrible, especially considering how many new people you get to come to your page, and that then can become fans and share your music, and it starts to get exponential from there. You know how that works. This is what I do for a living, Nucci. We talked about this. But so that's basically it. Did anyone have any questions on the ad stuff that we talked about? Oh, I realized the captions weren't on the whole time. No. Oh, well. Does anyone have any questions about, how we're doing the targeting, ads manager, anything they recommend or whatever? You were promised more, Ziggy. I didn't promise more, Ziggy, but I'll give you more, Ziggy, after this. I just want to go through the questions, and then we'll get into the regular stream. And if there's no questions, that's totally lit. You can hit me up at It's Kisos on all my social media, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, at It's Kisos ITS, and then Kisos is KISOS. And you can also check out my company, Miller Place, millerplace.co. And I work specifically with queer artists and artists of color to get their music and creations out in the world. So if nobody has any questions, I'm going to sign off right there, ladies. I'll see you next week with something new. Maybe I will, show you how things have changed and how I've progressed my ads since this week. I'll do that. And then if you have any suggestions or questions, I can also address those next week. Would you run ads for more than 5 days? Yeah, so I would say kind of run stuff for a few days and get some feedback and then change it up. You want to be changing it up, but you don't want to change it up too soon. So I wouldn't redo it after 5 days. I would restart it, but I would make a change. And then I would take note of the change so that you can see. And I also made a spreadsheet for myself of my data and to see my growth. Like I want to see, okay, how much are these ads growing me? How much is it growing everything? So I can see like the trends and like, oh, last time I did this, I didn't really get any more views, but this time I did this, I did. But yeah, because if you just keep doing the same thing over and over, yeah, Facebook algorithm can improve, but you're taking also your own autonomy and knowledge as a human being out of it. I'm running them for streams as in Twitch streams or like music streams. Also look at ads of people similar to ads that you are running. Yeah, you can compare certain things, or you can just also track their data and growth as well and see like, okay, what are they doing? Exactly, Oe. Low power, do you mean, why is my thing not loading? Do you mean tracking like music streams or Twitch streams? Twitch, although I'm thinking music streams in particular. Yeah, so what I was running at first was a smart link. So like those things where, you can click it and then it's like YouTube, official website, Apple Music, iTunes, SoundCloud, Twitch, Bandcamp. So it's like all those links in one. I wanted to show you guys something, but it's literally not loading. That's okay. Actually, let me just try opening Drive again. Hi, Lucas. So I was running it at first with a smart link and it didn't really work. So I think running a direct link is much better. I don't know how well it would work for a Twitch stream. You'd have to have some you'd have to, just target it right and have a good ass clip of something. Okay, here we go. but I was targeting it directly to Spotify, and I was noticing that my listeners increased by, at the peak they were kind of doubled, but that was just for a day, because then I stopped them because I ain't got money like that. So I've run ads. I ran ads for like 2 days as a basic test. Then I ran them for another 3 days as a basic test. I would say I think like 3 days is good. My stuff is freaking out right now. But yeah, you can. I'm gonna highlight this Lopar Panda, and I'm also gonna start putting them on YouTube eventually. I've been meaning to for months, so yeah, you'll be able to put it on there. I mean, see it on there and go back and see what I talked about, because I basically just talked about the server. Why is the drive down? Anyway, okay, so basically it was just a spreadsheet of this date and how many followers or likes or streams or listeners I had. And I just had a different column for, like YouTube views, YouTube subscribers, Spotify streams, listens, follows, Instagram follows, Facebook likes. And I was just tracking that. And you just use, like the Excel or Google Sheets formulas so it auto updates when you update it. Are those subtitles in the corner? They are indeed, Leilani. They have some issues. But they're pretty good. Overall, they're pretty good. Okay, y'all, thank you so much for coming to this music marketing stream. I got to get back to my regular stream, but I will see you next week for music stuff. Hit me up. It's Kisos, Kisos, on social media with any questions, and we will go over them next week.